Something brand new on my channel. Let's take a look every day at prophecy in the news today for October the 13th, 2014. Here's the headline. Vatican proposes dramatic shift in attitude towards gays, same-sex couples, coming out of Reuters. And let me read a little bit of this to you. In a dramatic shift in tone, a Vatican document said on Monday that homosexuals had gifts and qualities to offer, and asked if Catholicism could accept gays and recognize positive aspects of same-sex marriage. Does this surprise you, church? Does this surprise you? What else is going on the prophetic timeline for today? For today's date, here's the headline. Beardless Jesus discovered on early Christian artifact unearthed in Spain. Spanish archaeologists have found a depiction of Jesus that dates back to the 4th century, making it one of the earliest images of the Christian deity ever unearthed. The discovery raises questions about when and how Christianity arrived in Spain, but some history buffs are much more interested in the fact that this Jesus is beardless. What do you think? Leave me a comment below. What do you think, Yeshua? What do you think Jesus really, truly looked like? Unlike modern depictions of Jesus with a long beard and flowing locks, this early Christ is clean-shaven with closely cropped hair. See if we can see. It's very difficult to see. The image appears on a green glass paten, which is a plate that holds bread for the Holy Eucharist, according to the local. The three figures on the plate are believed to be Christ and his apostles Peter and Paul. This is fascinating. The trio are surrounded by halos and are standing between two palm trees. The scene represents immortality, the afterlife, and heaven, ABC reports. Let me ask you, what do you think, Yeshua? What do you think Jesus actually looked like? Think back 2,000 years to the time period when Jesus walked the earth with the disciples. What would it be common appearance for a man at that time, a Jewish man, to have short hair? If they do have a beard, that it would be trimmed, and short curly hair and olive skin. I find this interesting. Leave me comments on this. Now, on to signs of the end times. Is it really a sign of the end times, or is there a false flag event taking place to scare and frighten and to cause massive chaos and panic in the United States? Monitoring of hospital workers intensifies after first transmitted Ebola case. Coming out of Dallas Associated Press, health officials are intensifying the monitoring of hospital workers who provided care to the first person to be diagnosed with Ebola in the U.S. after one of them was infected with the virus despite wearing protective gear. Hold the phone. Stop there. The nurse that attended to Thomas Eric Duncan has been diagnosed with the Ebola virus. But what we seem to forget, and the news is all promoting how she was in her full gear, protective gear. But when Thomas Eric Duncan first went to the emergency room, she treated him unprotected. The entire emergency room was unprotected while he was vomiting. And she had no protective gear on. They sent him home with antibiotics. That's what, brothers and sisters, that's what we seem to forget. When he first went for treatment, they didn't think he had Ebola. They thought he just had some type of intestinal virus. They weren't wearing hazmat suits. Neither was the nurse now that has become infected with Ebola or malaria, whatever you want to call it. Let's be clear on the facts. What else is going on? Now, I talked about this a little bit in my very first video of the day, our morning video, and here's the headline. Kerry pushes for Mideast peace. Donors pledge $5 billion for Palestinians. For Hamas, the Gaza Strip, who fired missiles into God's beloved Israel. Reuters, U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry called on Sunday for a renewed commitment to achieving Middle East peace, saying a lasting deal between Israel and Palestinians and all their neighbors was possible. Here we're talking about end-time Bible prophecy. But prospects for a renewed peace process appeared dim as Kerry offered no specifics on how to restart negotiations in his speech to a Gaza reconstruction conference that raised more than $5 billion in aid for the Palestinians after a devastating war in the tiny coastal territory. The last round of U.S. brokered peace talks foundered in April over Israeli objections to a Palestinian political unity pact that included the Islamist Hamas, who fired missiles into and rockets into Israel, movement and over Palestinian opposition to Israeli settlement expansion. I don't know. Let me read a little bit more. Out of the conference must come not just money, but a renewed commitment from everybody to work for peace that meets the aspiration of all, for Israelis, for Palestinians, for all people of this region, Kerry told the meeting in Cairo. And I promise you the full commitment of President Barack Obama, myself, in the United States. Well, in the United States to try to do that, he said. You're bringing about judgment upon the United States of America. God said, I will bless, speaking of Israel, I will bless those that bless you and curse those that curse you. Kerry goes on, make no mistake, what was compelling about a two-state solution a year ago is even more compelling today, referring to the long-term goal of an independent, democratic Palestinian state living peacefully alongside Israel. Now here we go, here's the kicker. At the conference, Kerry also announced an additional $212 million while we have people dying in the streets of California, shopping carts belonging to the homeless with all their belongings that they would never leave. Lined up, the homeless are gone. In New Jersey and in Ann Arbor, Michigan, they're bulldozing the tent cities of the homeless. They're taking box cutters to the homeless in South Florida. And homeless are being rounded up in Colorado and put in these FEMA prisons. But we're going to send $212 million, not of my money, to aid the Palestinians in the Gaza Strip. What else is going on today? And finally, here's the headlines for today. Hudhud lashes India. Bongfong pounds Japan. Atlantic storms strengthen. Hundreds of thousands evacuated to India. China power knocked out in Bermuda. Let me just bring you a little bit of this. Look up, everyone. He's about to break the sky. A powerful cyclone that slammed into India's eastern seaboard weakened as it moved inland Monday, leaving at least 8 dead in its wake. Rescue workers readied helicopters, aircraft, and ships to carry out relief operations once daylight made clear the extent of damage. In another storm lashing Asia, Typhoon Bongfong was downgraded to tropical storm as it hit the Japanese island of Kyushu after battering the southern island of Okinawa. What effect is this having on Fukushima? This has been Prophecy in the News for Monday, October the 13th, 2014. And keep your focus, keep your eye on the bridegroom because he's about to break the sky. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, and share. Leave me comments. God bless you today.